Welcome to Womb Talk. I'm your host, Elizabeth Vanderwell, a holistic doula and a certified women's health coach. I am also the founder of Fruitful Doula Services, which is bringing you this lovely podcast. So remember, this space is for every woman who is walking through the path of deeper healing. We honor the full spectrum of womanhood, so from puberty and beyond, all the way to our wise woman phase of menopause. I hope that you will join us through story, nourishment, and sacred conversation. So let's settle in, take a deep breath, and begin. Okay, guys, today is a going to be quite a fantastic episode. I'm really excited about it. We are going to deep dive into setting boundaries for the holidays. And the holidays can be a joyful time most of the time. I mean, let's be honest, it's super overwhelming, especially if you and your partner have multiple family gatherings that you need to go to. Beyond just families, you've got friends, parties from work. The list is endless. And from what I know and from what I've heard from people around the world, holidays can sometimes start mid-November, if I'm correct. So, seeing when you're watching this video, you might be like, I am partied out. And it may be too late of an episode to tell you, but I want to help you set boundaries so that between the family gatherings, the traditions, and everyone wanting your time and energy, I want you to gain sight of you and what you want and your partner wants and what you and your baby need. So, let's take a deep dive on how to set some healthy, loving boundaries. So, when we talk about boundaries, it is a huge topic. People all over the world talk about this, and a lot of the times we wonder, how do we even do it? And why do we do it? So, first off, let me state that boundaries are essential for any type of mental, physical, and emotional health during pregnancy. When we are continuously putting other people before us, we are in turn hurting ourselves. So, during pregnancy, especially since your body is already giving everything it needs and wants to a little growing infant inside your belly, you will find that a lot of your mental, physical, and emotional health is already being tanked. So, to add the holidays on top, where everybody is wanting your time, energy, oh, can we see you before the baby's born? That kind of vibe, where it feels like people you haven't seen in forever seems to pop out of the woodwork. So, to practice official boundaries to make sure that you are essentially taking care of yourself, I need to teach you a two-letter word that not many people know about, and that is N-O. I really appreciate if you would say it with me. I'm going to be like Dora right now. Can you all say no? I can't hear you. That's right. Sorry. I wanted to channel a little inner future self for you of can you practice saying no? I mean, some people like to add in a little swear, a little like hell nah, or a little like I'm too busy for that girl. And, whatever else you choose to say. But honestly, putting yourself first is essential, especially during the holidays. And if you are having your first, it is time to create a bit of your own family traditions. Practicing no now will benefit you in the future when not only does your child want things, but everybody else around wants your time and energy. So let's practice that a little bit more in situations. So oftentimes we'll get 1,000+ invitations to different parties that we want to be going to. And if there are some of you listening to this and you're like, I'm never invited to parties, I hear you, I see you, I feel that. And that is why we'll talk later about creating your own traditions to support it. But anyway, creating boundaries is just learning to really put yourself first. So I love to tell people that, we live in a world where we're always being told we don't want to be selfish. And I think the narrative is changing now because in the end, we need to put ourselves first. So I've had many times where there are meetings booked, and if it's not client work, then I'm not really like, this is a desperate need. then I will sometimes reschedule if I am not feeling well. I have had to cancel prenatal when I have not felt top tier, whether that's through a headache, through my own period crises, or anything really that needs more of my love and attention for someone else when I should be giving it to me. And sometimes having to say, I'm so sorry, but I have to cancel. I'm not doing well, or especially in your boat if you're expecting, I'm just, the baby's giving me all these symptoms or whatever you want to say. And I, as a doula, oh my, I have said this so many times. If you listen to a few of my episodes, I have said it. I always say you could blame me for things. And it's funny because a lot of people are like, what? And I'm like, no, really. Like, my mom always said it to me. She was like, if you ever not want to do something, just say your mom doesn't let you. And I always say to like my clients that I'm like, you can use your healthcare team as a crutch. And I know some doulas will maybe not feel the same way as me. Some midwives, some OBs might not, but I really say use me. They're never going to talk to me really unless they hire me, and then they can use me and they'll know at that time that I let them, it'll work out. But in the end, I just like to always say, if you're not really feeling it, and you're texting me and you're like, I feel really overwhelmed and stuff, I'll be like, hey, is there anything that you need to get out of? Use me as your get out of jail free card. And this is a very simple way to approach, and I've mentioned it before here, but simply say, my doula has told me that with the baby coming soon, I should be taking as much rest and time for myself. And she told me to limit what parties or events that I could attend to maybe just a handful. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to pass on yours this year, and hopefully next year I get to attend. And maybe that sounded really businessy and very long and drawn out, but honestly, guys, it works. It really does. And so I say it all the time. Use me as your get out of jail free card. And I mean, hey, if you're listening to this, your doula says that you are not allowed to be partying so much this holiday season, okay? Like, cut it down. Stay home. Go to bed. Use me as a crutch if you need to. And honestly, this comes down to prioritizing your well-being. So don't let the family drama pull you in. Remind them you are growing a human being. I added so many extra liters of blood to my body. I think it's 6, but I always forget the number. So forgive me. I don't know if it's 6 or not. I'm 98% confident on that. But anyway, that's not the point. You just need to remind everybody what you are going through. What you are going through is a lot of changes, and your body needs to be fully aware of that. Your people around you need to be fully aware of that, okay? So if you need to explain to them, oh, I'm having the runs a lot. Or if you need to go in the nitty gritty of things, gross people out if you must. Be real with them and tell them, like, hey, this is a lot and I'm being pulled in many different ways. And I get it. Communication is a very vulnerable state. And I've mentioned it 100 times over. But when we communicate how we are feeling and what we are going through, we can better help ourselves and better help the people around us so they can help us. So, with that being said, I want to talk about tips for creating new traditions. I try to keep the ones where it's just myself a little bit shorter so that way you could just pop me on, listen to me, and then do with your day as you will. Be real here. You are not just caring for yourself. You are creating the foundation for your baby's arrival. And protecting your peace during the holiday season is one of the best gifts to give yourself. And with that being said, tips for creating new traditions is so important because if this is your first child, you are starting a family, and you have so much potential. Guys, you have so much potential. I see all the time these clips of like, oh, when like I seen a video today that was like, oh, when I was 11 years old, or like when my kids turn 11, that's when they get to find out what their Harry Potter house is. Like, how cool is that for a birthday? And there's so many different ones. Like if you mirror off movies that you love, like the 13 going on 30, or all those sort of things that we have in our culture today, or Sweet 16, like quinceanera, like the different cultures do. Like there are so many, it's endless. But with that being said, Christmas is your turn to make traditions. So if you grew up in a house where you were always going to grandma's house on Christmas Eve to bake cookies, or you always did Christmas caroling on the third week of, like, it can be whatever you want to be. And if you set the tone for things now, it'll help you. And girl, they're not going to remember for the first few years of their life. So, if you want to change things up, you can, but it's a way for you to experiment what you like to do. So, if you say, okay, every like on Christmas, we go to said family, we alternate between the two grandmas and grandpas, or we do our own thing and then we have separate like Christmas Eve for one person and Boxing Day for the other family and then you alternate. Whatever you need to do, you need to create your own Christmas traditions. If you know anything or you follow me personally, my sister and I were about 10, 11 years old. No, we were older. 15, 16 years old, I think. And we realized we didn't have that many Christmas traditions besides go to church on Christmas and have the priest that married my parents come for Christmas dinner. And those were the two big Christmas traditions we really remember. When we were younger, we added Santa Claus, and things have kind of changed as we've gotten older. Nothing's ever stays the same. But my sister and I wanted a tradition to carry on to our children. And it was something that we were kind of just being creative. We wanted something to do during the holidays. So listen to the work pile that we've come up with, okay? 25 days of Christmas. We cook a different meal each day leading up to Christmas from a different country. We get to explore different foods, have a lot of different tastes. We love it, but it's so much work. And I know that by the time we have children, it's going to be even more work. And so we get excited for the idea of thinking that we may have children on our hips one day doing this. We may have in-laws or other people helping us through those moments. And it brings such a smile to my face knowing that we created a tradition that we have done for so many years. I think we're on our ninth, almost 10th year. I have to look. I think ninth year though, and it's exhilarating. And knowing that you also could come up with nutrition. You don't have to do 25 days around the world. Maybe if you like the theme, you could do 2 days or 5 days leading up to around the world. And you can make Christmas however you want. I really I love movies like if you see in I'm trying to think of it's like a Caillou Christmas. I know it's very childish almost, but in there he opens like this big advent calendar and each night before bed he tells a different story about Christmas from around the world. So you get like, oh, in Germany this is where they first got like the Christmas tree and then this is how we started doing oranges hanging. Like there's so many different ones. And so if you want to maybe every year create your own advent calendar, or it can be whatever you choose for your holidays. So remember, you make the traditions, make the rules now, and learn to say no without guilt. Protect your peace and create that space you need for enjoying your holiday season. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope, or listening along to this podcast, I hope you have a wonderful holiday season and you'll come back again soon. I keep posting on Mondays, so I hope you'll join us for another podcast episode as we lead ourselves into the new year of 2026.